them miraculously they all showed up. So I'm going to start by introducing the candidates, or the pinning candidates, as they walk in. Victor Amenya. Terry Bergman. Megan Vestine. Haley Carter. Lexi Howard. Carrie Larson. Althea Lee. James Loomis. Madeline Lundquist. Davina Mashaka. Robert Magoma, behind Andy McHugh. Nathan Hager. Golden Regla. Mercy Moido. Catherine Moriassi. Davina Musetti. Eli Maluka. Margaret Wange. She's on her way to Kawani Genda. Damaris Gonzaga. Valentina Ogo. Grace Revere. Caitlin Tuttle. And Ryan Missy. And they're all supposed to be standing. Final grades have not been posted. One last round of applause for our graduates. I want to welcome you all here to our pinning. This is a very low budget production, and we are nurses, so please bear with us. My name is Renee Lemieux, and I'm the Director of Nursing, and I would like to introduce the rest of our faculty and staff. We have Jill Holden. Dana Greenford. Brenda Arneson. Julie Langer. Missing tonight, we have Lorene Gillickson, our midwife. And with us tonight are our President, Michael Barrett, and our Vice President, Mike Mendel. So this is a night to celebrate your graduates. As some of you may have realized, nursing school is kind of aggressive, if you will. So I want to give you just a little history of pinning, and then I'm going to invite up some student speakers. Historians can actually trace back the tradition to the Crusades of the 12th century, when a group of knights tended to and cared for the injured and suffering crusaders. When new monks were brought into the Knights Order, they decided to continue helping sick soldiers and held a ceremony where each monk was given a Maltese cross that they wore on their arm. Fast forward to the 1860s, when Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross of St. George for her selfless efforts to injured men during the Crimean War. Because she believed in acknowledging a job well done, she presented a Medal of Excellence to her hardest working nursing graduates. However, by 1916, it became standard in the US to no longer award only a few nurses with a Medal of Excellence, but instead all nursing graduates with a pin during a special ceremony. The pin was provided by the hospital or school of nursing to students to identify them as nurses and act as proof of their education. Nursing school is no joke. Today, the faculty of Dakota County Technical College is proud to present each of you with your nursing pin you have worked so hard to earn. And tonight, we officially welcome you to the nursing profession. And with that, I'm going to call up Grace Clear.
Hello and welcome to our pinning ceremony. We are so very happy you all could make it here to be with us today. Nursing school is not easy, and we would not be here today if it was not for each and every one of you. On our first day of nursing school, Renee told us this would be like nothing we have ever done. As we sit here tonight, I realize how true this really was. Nursing school is full of ups and downs, but we all made it through. My grandmother used to read me this poem, and I would like to share it with you all tonight. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a failure turns about when she might have won had she stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow, you may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering woman. Often the struggler has given up when she might have captured the victor's cup. And she learned too late when the night slipped down how close she was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of clouds of doubt, and you can never tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. So as we sit here tonight, ready to embark on our next chapter of our lives, I would like to thank you all for coming and celebrating this huge accomplishment with us. I would also like to thank all of our instructors for encouraging us and supporting us through this journey. Thank you all for coming and have a great evening.
Very nice, honey. Hi, my name is Carrie. A little over a year ago, I started on this crazy journey into the practical nursing program. I thought I'll take some prerequisites, and if I pass, I'll keep going. Then it turned into, well, if I pass the TEAS exam, I'll keep going, which led to even more declarations of, if I passed fill in the blank, I'll keep going. I'm not super comfortable with uncertainty, which means this past year plus has been one long exercise in mental and emotional discomfort. At the beginning of the fall semester, we were told that only about half of us would still be around at the end, and I vividly recall thinking it was entirely possible that I might not make it through. I have all the support in the world, but that didn't mean I would remember dosage calculation or be able to memorize every single step in the head-to-toe assessment or remember all the medications and what they do. I've been so inspired by the people in my cohort. We all have such different backgrounds, and I've learned so much just by watching all of you. I've seen us go from students struggling to pass pharmacology exams to students discussing nursing interventions and care plans during clinicals, because we sounded like real nurses, you guys. And our instructors, there's the saying, those that can't do teach, but our teachers do all the things and teach us all those things at the same time. They set high expectations and then celebrate with us when we meet and exceed those expectations. They cheer us on and they want us to succeed. The confidence I've gained, that didn't just happen overnight. It's been a long year. Some nights riddled with insomnia and stress nightmares, most days overflowing with caffeine and carbohydrates, self-doubt, sheer exhaustion. My sister-in-law is an RN, and when the fall semester started, she said, "Welcome to hell." I wouldn't categorize this as hell per se, but figuring out arterial blood gases and acid-base balance is certainly hell adjacent. Getting through a program like this takes both support both in and out of the classroom, and I know I'm so grateful that I was in this cohort. DCTC is about to unleash some really great nurses into the world.
Hello everyone. Our class of 2022, I want everyone to take a big breath in and release. Feels better, right? As I look back on our program, I'm in shock and disbelief that we are finally here tonight. I know it feels like it was just yesterday we sat in orientation. Students have given their blood, sweat, and tears for the past 2 semesters, on top of one or more semesters of prerequisites to get to this point. Countless hours of prepping for lecture, exams, and questioning if we'd end up going back to full-time distance learning. I recall listening to Renee at our orientation in August and wondering, are we gonna have to wear masks tonight? When Renee told us in orientation that LPN programs are something like you've never completed before, she wasn't kidding. All of the knowledge compressed into 2 semesters, and believe me, it was a lot of information. But we finally made it to pinning night. In the thick of it, it didn't feel like we were missing so much. I know so many of us felt so much self-doubt, but we were just beginning to grow as nursing students. Baby nurses, as Renee would call us. I'm sure like myself, towards the end of this semester, we began to think like a nurse and connect the dots. Well, my fellow cohort, I'm afraid we aren't done learning. From what I can see, we will be learning for the rest of our careers. Always staying up to date on training and new research, and making sure to get all of our yearly required employee education hours in. I know that each and every one of you have it in you to be competent, compassionate, and empathetic nurses. Make it a point to treat every patient like it's someone in your family. Give care that puts an imprint on every person that you come into contact with. Let us see the ripple effect our class can create. I know we have all heard our professors tell us that employers contact DCTC specifically for these students. That says a lot about our program. Not only did we accomplish an intensive program, but we did it during one of the most chaotic times, where our plans could change on a dime. Thankfully, because of technology, we were able to power through if we couldn't be in person. I wanted to take a moment to thank God for giving me the ability, and all of you, and the perseverance to get through this program. I want to thank our professors for always being a sounding board when needed. I know I would constantly bother them. I'm sure many others as well. I want to extend a thank you to our clinical preceptor faculty for being our best advocates on our individual preceptor sites. You made our experience at DCTC one we'll never forget. Lastly, I want to thank every single person out here. Every person that was in this program had a support system. Grandparents, parents, spouses, siblings, children, godparents, you name it. You all helped us through a difficult time, and I know we couldn't have done it without you.
Well, I don't think there's anything else for me to say, but I will. I'm so proud of each of you. This is really a magnificent cohort. They all are, but there's something about this cohort. You each cheered each other on and celebrated each other's successes regardless of what was going on in your own life. And you know all the challenges you brought to the table every single day, but you persisted. So let's talk about you a little bit, shall we? Yay, you did it. I'm sure I speak for all the faculty and staff when I tell you how proud we are of you. And we are so grateful to have been part of this important journey in your life. While we are here to teach and support you, please know that each of you teaches us more than you will ever realize. This accomplishment will not just change your life, but it will change the life of your family and friends as well. You have demonstrated what it looks like to set goals and work harder than you ever imagined to accomplish those goals. You likely thought about quitting a time or two. I'm looking at you, Megan. But you persevered and today find yourself at the finish line. You have taught your children that anything is possible if you work hard for it, which will create a lifelong legacy. Some of your children are with you here tonight, and some are thousands of miles away, but know the impact that pursuing your dream of being a nurse will have on them. You have shown your friends and family, and more importantly, I hope you have shown yourself just how strong and capable each of you are. At this moment, please allow yourself to feel the immense pride that is warranted after successfully completing a nursing program. That means just relax now. It's all good. Before you started, we tried to prepare you for the adventure you were about to embark on with words like busy, rigorous, and stressful. But believe none of you realized what you had signed up for until you were fully in it. To give a brief summary for our guests, let me do a little review for you. And this is not to create a traumatic response in any of you, but just to take a fond look back on all you've conquered so far. Number one, you've taken 67 course exams, not including all the practice exams, which averages out to about 2.35 exams per week over the last 2 semesters. That's pretty big. Your nostrils have endured more COVID tests than the average human in efforts to keep each other and our patients safe. No one complained, and I can speak for my own clinical groups. Each morning we gathered around our tests and waited for our negative pregnancy test. I cannot put an exact number on the medication templates that each of you have joyfully completed, plus I hope you save them forever, plus the system disorder templates, case studies, Flipgrid discussion, concept maps, flashcards, all that good stuff that's somewhere in a bonfire, I would predict. The milligrams of caffeine you have likely consumed has probably approached the medically unsafe threshold, but again, you persisted. The hours of sleep, housekeeping, exercise, and socialization has surely suffered, and I hope you take a little time now to do some ridiculously mindless activities that you have missed. Carrie will surely be watching more hours of Naked and Afraid just like me. Most of you have worked during the program, many working full-time to support your family. Your hard work will soon pay off when you hit the floor as a nurse, who will always remember what it feels like to do paid work. And you will never be too busy to answer a call light, correct? Yes. Right. You will lead with kindness and grace because you are a DCTC grad, and we have seen it all in you already. Nurses are consistently ranked as the most trusted profession year after year. With this trust comes great responsibility. You have an obligation to uphold the trust in the patients you will care for over the course of your career. You will help people in their happiest moments, such as a family welcoming a new baby or helping your patient get a visit from a grandchild they may not have seen in years. More often, however, you will be with people in their worst moments, a life-changing diagnosis, or being with a family as they say goodbye to their dying loved one. A favorite quote of mine is from Maya Angelou, who said, "People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel." It is up to each of you now to make sure your patients feel safe, seen, and heard. You will advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. You will make sure each person who enters your care will be treated as the dignified and purposeful human they will always be despite their diagnosis. A few tips for success as a nurse, in my humble opinion. 1, always be grateful. You are here today because of a lot of hard work and support from your family and friends. They made sacrifices so that you could be in those chairs today. You will need that support going forward. Those days are going to challenge you physically and emotionally, and you're going to need your support system to be there. Make sure you thank everyone who has helped you this far and will continue to have your back in the future. Always be humble. Although if you have worked hard to be a nurse, remember no task should be beneath you. If you've worked as a nursing assistant, may you always remember just how difficult that job is with very little recognition. It's also important to be humble when asked a question you do not know the answer to. Case in point, pharmacology, any of it. A humble nurse says politely, "I'm not sure. I'll check on that and get back to you." Then you quickly run to a computer and you Google it. And you come back with the answer. Remember how good it felt when your instructor had to stop the lecture and Google something because they didn't know? That's exactly how good it will feel for your patient. 3, always challenge yourself to move beyond your comfort zone. Nursing involves lifelong learning and many opportunities. When you consider going back to school or taking a new job but are hesitant, I want you to remember how good you feel at this very moment. You proved you can do this, and I know each of you can do whatever you set your minds to. Now go and change the world. 4, always remember what it feels like to be a nursing student. Remember needing to give your first injection and how scared you were. Remember those shaking hands and shaking voice when your instructor asked, "Why?" and you doubted yourself. You are now a role model for the profession. Offer to help that student or new nurse. Show them a smile and never let them know they are slowing you down, even though they are. Teach them that nurses are kind, not just to our patients, but to each other. 5, always remember to fill your own cup. Nursing is emotionally, mentally, and physically taxing. Nurses are often terrible at self-care, but know you cannot give your best to your family and patients if you aren't taking care of yourself first and foremost. And lastly, yes, I'm winding it up, I will leave you with a poem. Being a nurse means you will never be bored. You will always be frustrated. You will be surrounded by challenges, so much to do, and so little time. You will carry immense responsibility and have very little authority. You will step into people's lives and you will make a difference. Some will bless you and some will curse you. You will see people at their worst and at their best. You will never cease to be amazed at people's capacity for love, courage, and endurance. You will see life begin and end. You will experience resounding triumphs and devastating failures. You will cry a lot, and you will laugh a lot, and that's super important. You will know what it is to be human, and more importantly, what it is to be humane. Congratulations, graduates. You did it. Now let's get on to pinning. As we begin pinning, I'm going to call the faculty up on stage to help with that. I'm going to announce the candidate and their sponsor, so if the sponsor can meet them up on stage, we will provide you with the pin. It's on a ribbon, so you don't have to poke anybody, it just goes over their head. And then I'm going to read a little something that they wrote about their sponsor and their time at DCTC. Oh my. So we're gonna start with Victor, so he's gonna set the pace here. Victor, you're gonna roll. Victor Amenya, his sponsor is Caleb Okemwa, who is his uncle. Last minute change, so I don't have anything that Victor wrote about his uncle, but Caleb is a DCTC grad. And an awesome human. Victor's favorite memory was being able to enjoy studying with his fellow classmates through the Jeopardy and Cahoots through nursing school. That felt like that a lot. What is up next? He's going to work as an LPN and potentially go back to school in the future. Thank you and congratulations, Victor. Our next graduate is Perry Bergman, who's being pinned by her friend Isabel Chan. Perry says about Isabel. Isabel and I met while she was in nursing school several years ago. She knew I was on the same path and often gave me encouragement and advice. She was a kind and dependable spirit, which are gifts from God and make her the nurse I hope to be one day. Cherry's favorite memory from DCTC was one of her first clinical days with Julie. She walked out of a patient's room and got a big pump of hand sanitizer from the med cart. And as she began to lather it around her hands, horror struck, and she stared at her hands wide-eyed, realizing it was not hand sanitizer at all. Julie started laughing and pointed out that the purple bottle is drink thickener. Still not sure why they put those bottles next to each other. It doesn't seem safe. Next up for Perry is she'll be spending the summer working at a camp in Colorado, and in September she will officially start work in a clinic with Alina Health. Next up is Megan Gustine. She is being pinned by her fiance, Scott Myers. Megan says, Scott is and always will be my biggest supporter in my education and career. He always encourages me when I feel stuck, and he provides any support I need. Our lives were a whirlwind the past year and a half, juggling a brand new business on the side, working crazy hours each week, all while completing the nursing program. The biggest takeaway from the program is not my diploma itself, but showing our kids we can achieve any goal we set our mind to. Megan's favorite memory, in true Megan fashion, she cannot pick just one. I would have to say our sim labs with Brenda and Renee will be the most memorable for me. Brenda always had a trick up her sleeve to make the patient do something or say something dramatic. Most embarrassing moment was on my first day of clinical forgetting to recap an insulin pen. I don't know why this was so traumatic for you. Proceeding to take it home with me and wondering if I would be allowed back to clinical. I will never forget that text to Renee. She was all in a panic, like she took morphine or something. My clinical rotations with Renee and Julie helped me to start putting the pieces together and was so liberating to have the aha moments with residents. Lastly, I couldn't have survived without my friends from our cohort. I have learned so much about all of you, and I'm so thankful to have crossed paths with each of you. Amen. What's up next for Megan? She wants to continue her education, but will be starting out in long-term care to get her feet wet. I plan on completing a bridge program to finish my RN, but I think a semester or two break will be best for me. Congratulations. Next, we have Haley Harder. She is being pinned by her mom, Michelle Harder. Haley says about her mom, my mom has always been my biggest supporter in everything I do. She has encouraged me throughout life and throughout nursing school, and she is a person I look up to in every aspect of life. A favorite memory from DCTC is my first semester clinical experience at Malastrana with Renee. I learned so much in a small amount of time, and my time there is really when I became excited about my future as a nurse. Haley plans to work as an LPN in long-term care facility for a little bit and then continue her education at CVTC in the near future. Congratulations. Next, we have Lexi Howard, who's being pinned by her boyfriend, Cole. I think I've seen him on TikTok. Some nights when I lay in bed and try to unwind, I go through TikTok and there's Lexi. It stopped recently, I'm not sure what that's about. Lexi says Cole is her biggest cheerleader and supporter. He inspires her to work hard and encourages her to go after her goals and was there for her every time she felt like nursing school was too much. He handled dating a nursing student like a champ. It's not easy. One of her favorite memories was a big hug from Jill after she passed her pharmacology proctored exam. And I do remember that day. And she has accepted a job at Alina Family Clinic in Shakopee, and she's going to take those boards ASAP. Congratulations, Lexi. You can unblock me from TikTok now. Like one day I mentioned it to her, and after that, she never showed up in my feed. Next student is Carrie Larson. She's being pinned by her husband, Dustin Hanson. Carrie says, I cannot imagine a better partner in my life. My husband, Dustin, does all the adulting around the house, even while working 40+ hours a week and managing the kids' schedules. There's no way I could have done this without him, because she's watching Naked and Afraid, as I am. Her favorite memory is sitting around a table at clinicals with classmates, asking questions and realizing we had actual nursing information to provide to one another. I said something along the lines of, you guys, we actually sound like real nurses. And really, who can forget the rectum in a cup in the lab? And next up for Carrie, she's going to take the NCLEX as soon as possible, yes, and then work for Alina Health Egan. And lots of sleep. Next up is Althea Lean, who's being pinned by her mom, Sarah Swanson. And Allie wins my favorite picture award. You'll find her and her son their first day of school. It's my favorite. Sorry, y'all. Allie says, I really don't know where to start. My mom, even though I am 27 years old, is still my rock. Whenever I have a problem or need help with something, she's always there no matter what. She made it possible for me to even have a sight of going back to school, and has pushed me and motivated me mostly through leading by example. I saw her work hard in school as a young single mom, and she has always been one of the most inspirational people to me in my life. She made it possible for me to get to early clinical days by watching my son overnight and driving him all the way to daycare the next morning. She gave me breaks on the weekend to hang out with friends, even though I ended up doing homework and studying most of the time anyway, because we had what felt like 3 tests almost every week, 2.34. Without her, I don't know what I would do, and I hope she knows how much I appreciate her. Her favorite memory from her time at DCTC was getting together with some classmates outside of class, and even though the intention was to study, we mostly ended up talking while we were together. I really don't know what I would have done without the support of some of my classmates. Knowing that we were all going through the same storm together made things a little bit easier. They kept me on track a lot of the time and were always there with a quick answer to any question that I had. Being able to vent to people that knew exactly what you were going through was so important. So for that, I thank all of you that helped me out. What's up next for Althea is her plan is to work at Planned Parenthood for at least a year or so. Her passion is women's health, and she truly enjoys learning more and more about it every day. She will slowly be taking classes that will get her into an RN program, hopefully by 2024. But in the meantime, she will be enjoying her time as an LPN and soaking up all the experiences that jobs allow her to have. Her end goal is to become an RN in labor and delivery, and hopefully travel nursing to different countries once her son chooses to leave the nest. And honestly, all of that in my mind could change, which is the beauty of a nursing degree. Amen. Congratulations. Next up is James Loomis, and he's going to be pinned by me. And I get to ad-lib this. You didn't know that. Oh, James, where do we start? When I had James the first time in clinical, I thought, oh Lord, what a squirrely little human. I said it to his face, this isn't anything. But I'm so proud of the confidence he's grown in and the person he's become. Congratulations. He did leave me a couple things here. His favorite memory from DCTC were the labs. They were horribly long. We had fun anyway and got to know a lot of great people. And what's up next, he's going to continue nursing school and figure out where he wants to work. Next up is Madeline Lundquist. She's being pinned by her mom, Michelle Stevens. Madeline writes, I remember being very young and my mom would hug me each night before she went off to work as a labor and delivery nurse. I always wanted to be smart and caring as she is and to be a great nurse like her. During school, I appreciated studying with her and all the knowledge she imparted to me from her years of experience. A favorite memory is making friends in Foundations Lab and doing clinicals with Julie and Brenda. What's up next for Maddie is she's going to continue to work for Fairview and start taking prereqs for her RN this summer. Congratulations, Maddie. Next student is Davina Mashaka, and she is being pinned by her husband, Nelson. Davina writes, he has been there for me, especially in this journey of nursing. At times I felt like giving up on school due to some challenges, but he always encouraged me and gave me every reason to keep going. Davina could typically be seen with that smile. Her favorite memory was during the virtual ATI live review. She enjoyed the 3 days on campus sharing one-on-one with her classmates and enjoyed tasting different foods, and also learned a lot of things which I'm sure they will help with her NCLEX. I hope so. What's up next for her? After here, she's looking forward to do her NCLEX exam as soon as possible, and she wants to go back to nursing school and get a part-time job. Congratulations. Next up is Robert Magoma. He's being pinned by his wife and fellow student, Dolvin Maregwa. Robert says, I chose my wife to be my sponsor because she has stood by me from the start up where I am right now. She's been so supportive to me, both financially and emotionally. She gave me words of encouragement when I almost lost hope. She is the reason why I am here today. Did y'all know they were married? No. I only knew because ATI sent me a message like, they're using the same internet. And I'm like, huh. Favorite memory is life has not been smooth, but I want to thank God for the wonderful teachers in nursing. They have inspired me, and they have been so supportive in content and everything. Next up, he just wanted to be an LPN, but I'm interested to further my career beyond that. Go for it. Congratulations. I kind of read the job like that may have been a surprise.
Yeah. You didn't know?
Next graduate is Andy McHugh. He's being sponsored by his friend Scott Endres. Scott is the type of friend that says, hey, you should have someone look at that. Or you probably shouldn't hang out with that person. They might throw a brick through your window and try to burn down your garage like they did before. True story. This is Andy, and he's a good storyteller, so hold on. A favorite memory. Renee, you can ad-lib this part. I don't think you want me to. And maybe I should not say some of this until after I get my final grades, but one of my favorite memories was realizing I was not muted and accidentally swearing on Zoom a couple times in class. The funniest part was the difference between your reaction and Jill's, which got me thinking, how are these two friends? Opposites attract, I guess. And in adult health, you seem to have almost every ailment. It's true, I have them all. In fact, once you were lecturing about men's health and the prostate, and you corrected yourself after implying you had one. I thought you were sure I don't have a prostate. But your anecdotes do stick in my head though and help me remember important details. What's up next for Andy? He has to put in 6 months at his current employer since they paid for school and they really need the help. Congratulations, Andy. Next student is Ming Megger, and she's being pinned by her husband, Robert Megger. I just have to say, when Ming showed up for classes, how old was your baby? 2 weeks old? And she would lay on the table, so exhausted, and look at her now. Ming says, during my nursing courses, there are many times I cried and thinking of giving up. Without my husband, I probably won't be here. He encourages me and tells me, you can do it, and always believed in me. Not only psychologically, he helped me physically with house chores, baby, and even massages me when I need it. Nice. Favorite memory? My time here at DCTC would always be a great memory, but the one thing I enjoyed and remember is the first semester cultural simulation. We learned about different cultures and religion and had to share our own cultures with our classmates. I laughed a lot when James and Rita played a Congo wedding scene. I wish I could have seen that. What is next for you? Work and make money. Next student is Dolvin Maregwa, and she's being sponsored by her husband, Robert Magoma. Yes, you've seen these two before. Dolvin writes, I chose him to be my sponsor because he has been supportive to me both financially and emotionally. He has also stood with me from the beginning of our nursing program to the finishing point. I can't express how grateful I am to have him in my life. It is a rare accomplishment when a married couple can make it through the program at the same time, let me just say. It is challenging, so congratulations. Her favorite memory is from her time at DCT is about the foundations in pharmacology labs. This was her favorite as it was interesting to learn skills physically. What's up next is she's planning to do her NCLEX as soon as possible. They've been hammered this into their head, so I love to hear it. Congratulations. Our next graduate is Mercy Moito, and she's being pinned by her boyfriend, Dennis Mago. She says he has been a pillar of my success journey since I started school of nursing career. He has been there for me, supporting me mentally, encouraging me that I can make it, never to give up on this journey. Though it's bumpy and though it's been rough, he's been my support system. I fought and here I am. Thanks to him, I make it through all the stages of my nursing education. He told me to follow my dream of becoming a nurse and helping people. He reminded me every day that my dreams are valid only if I work towards achieving them. Her favorite memory is the day they got to go to the lab, and let me thank my instructors for their time. You're welcome. Next up for her is her NCLEX as soon as possible. It's really on there. And then I assume she'll go work. Congratulations. Our next student is Catherine Moriassi, and she's being pinned by Jill Holden. Catherine writes, I want to be grateful to God for getting me this far. I spent hours of prayer asking Jesus to help me through, and he has done it. I thank him for all the grace and strength he bestowed upon me throughout this nursing program. Although I had to retake pharmacology, it's okay, it happens. Retaking pharmacology has taught me some lessons that will always carry with me. I also want to thank Jill for helping me get through pharm. Pharmacology is that class, and I'm glad I don't teach it. Our next student is Zavina Mosetti, and she's being pinned by her mom and her son, Everline and Michael. She says, I've chosen my sponsor because without my mom, I won't be here today, so she deserves the honor to pin me. And for my son, this is for him. He is the reason why I'm in nursing school and pursuing my career, because I want to give him the best life he can possibly have. Her favorite memory from DCTC happened recently, and that's when she passed her comprehensive predictor, because God knows how stressed I was about that test. Me too. Up next is she's going to go on for her RN while working part-time as a LPN. Congratulations. Next is Belaya Maruka, and she's being pinned by Bildad Dennis, who is her son. And very sharply dressed as well. Belaya writes, I've chosen my son to be my sponsor because he is my strength. As it is written in the book of Proverbs 22:6, that train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I have chosen to give my son both the word of God and education. I am sure that he will not forget about these two when he will grow up. Children learn through example. A favorite memory is she will be remembering her instructors for their efforts and to make her achieve her goals. If DCTC had an RN class, I would still have chosen it. It is the best college. Since the teachers make sure they have delivered their best for the best results. Kudos, Renee, and your team. Keep it up. We will. Her next step is to do her NCLEX ASAP and move on to her RN as soon as possible as well. Congratulations. And here she comes. Our next student is Margaret Wangi. She's being pinned by her children, Christabel Cyrus, Joash Cyrus, and Jackson Cyrus. Margaret writes, I chose my children to be my sponsors because they are the reason I work so hard. Throughout the year, they have given me humble time to pursue my goals for the betterment of their future. I want to be a light for them so that they understand that nothing can hinder anyone from pursuing their dreams, but it all takes hard work, dedication, commitment, and passion to get there. Her favorite memory of her time at DCTC was the birth simulation. I really learned a lot about delivery and the complications that accompany the process and how to intervene. I also won't forget the priority case study live in school when one of the students said he only remembers weird stuff from maternal child. Was it Andy? How did I know? Next up, she's going to take her NCLEX as soon as possible and get back to the workforce. Congratulations, Andy. Next up is Awadi Genda, and she's being pinned by her husband, Mawimble Malengwa Kaliha. She's growing a human in there. And her husband just graduated. Congratulations, a DCTC couple. Zawadi writes, I have chosen my husband because he was supporting me a lot in this nursing program, and I'm so thankful to have him in my life. A favorite memory is she will miss all her teachers and classmates for being so nice to her and encouraging her. My favorite memory is when I was doing blood pressure on Perry and she screamed my name, saying, I'm about to break her arm. It was a little rough in the beginning. The nursing program was very stressful, but I'm happy I made it. What's up next is she will take her NCLEX as soon as possible, and she's going to have her baby boy and go back to work and continue her school to get her RN BSN. Congratulations. Next is Demaris Ongaga. And she's being pinned by her husband Hudson, who also graduated from the program, and daughter Clara. Before you didn't want, no. She's like, no, it's fine. Damaris writes, he has been my best friend and my partner in crime for 17 years. And for Clara, the May 10th is her birthday. Happy birthday, Clara. He was the one who encouraged me to join DCTC, and every day he gave me encouragement when I was overwhelmed with the assignments. He worked night shift and morning, had to drive my kids to school since they do not have bus privilege since COVID. He never complained when the house was not cleaned and African food was not cooked. There is some skill in that African food. He prepared what he would for the kids and got them ready for bed, and he also paid the house rent and bills. It's because of him I made it to where I am today. All my thanks go to him for being there for me. A favorite memory is the cultural day and the birth simulation class. I can't forget my foundation lab. Jill, thanks much. She made me to have that confidence and realize that I was in the right place, especially head to toe assessment. When you couldn't miss a step, and the quizzes she would ask in between really made me do well in pharmacology, which made my second semester smooth, even though it was overwhelming. We made it. What's next up, she will sit for her board exams and find a job. And then she will take the microbiology class this summer, and after that she's going to find a school to get her RN. Next up is Bentina Oko. She's being pinned by her husband, George Chibana. Bentina writes, George, in times of despair, you were my beacon of light. You protected me from my worst nightmare in this academic journey. You work hard every day so that I can fulfill my dreams. Your words have strengthened me in weak moments. You are my pillar of strength. I thank and appreciate you so much. Love you. My favorite memory is lab time. It was amazing and a great learning opportunity putting the medication puzzles together. What's up next? She'll settle down, get to experience, and need to figure out her next move and support George so he can finish the program. Next up, we have Grace Revere. She's being pinned by her boyfriend, Daniel Schulte.
Wow.
Grace writes, I chose Daniel as my sponsor for supporting me through nursing school and helping me through my late night studying to celebrating passing my tests. Her favorite memory was learning skills in lab and then being able to go out in clinical and do them in real life at clinical and preceptorship. Her next step is working as an LPN and potentially going back to school in the future. Congratulations, Grace. I think we understand why Grace is so quiet. Next is Kaylee Tuttle, and she's being pinned by her boyfriend Peyton McGowan. Kaylee writes, I have chosen Peyton as my sponsor because through all the laughs and cries, he's never left my side. He has been the one to motivate me and pick me up when I am knocked down. I couldn't have chosen a more supportive partner. My favorite memory from my time at DCTC must be the first simulation lab. We were all sitting in class getting instruction, listening to Brenda talk. When all of a sudden we heard someone screaming from down the hall, help, I've fallen. So we all ran towards the sound and found Renee on the floor. She had fallen from her bed. I believe I peed in my bed too. What's up next for her? She's going to work as an LPN at Trinity Care Center and start for her BSN RN next fall at Herzing University. I'm not sure what I'm going to do without Kaylee, because when I forget to post something or open something or do something, it was her that always picked up. So, Kaylee, I'll have to be better about that. And last but not least is Garay Yangistik. She's being pinned by Rooney, Lucas, Andrew, Meisha, Shishwan, Ha Musa, who is her pastor, and not forgetting her wonderful professor, Renee. There are millions of reasons for picking the list of with those few names. I could mention many names, and if there is a name that is missing in the list above, you already know yourselves, and please know that I deeply appreciate you out there, and you are in my list in my heart. My journey of education began long before some of these people on my list were even born. It was not easy throughout my journey. I failed many times, I've cried endless tears, and I was in so many attempts to give up, but I refused to do so, through the courage of my late beloved mother. I remember vividly one day, my mom looked at me when she was fighting her battle with cancer and told me that, look, I admire your resilience in pursuit of your career, and I'm not going to die until I put that graduation hat on you as you walk down the hall dressed up in a gown. And this is the day my mom is pinning me in spirit through the care of my pastor, Musa. And Gary's pretty quiet too. This is the day I look up and I say, I did it, Mom. To my children, I want to show them that giving up is not a solution. I did this to tell them that in this world they can do anything they put their mind into, and also to remember that nothing comes easy. It gave me a lot of courage to make my journey colorful and glorious. My children will never go to bed or leave the house in the morning to go to school without telling me words like, good job, Mom, you got this, you can do it. Sometimes I put stickers of encouragement on my study desk in my absence, and when I went to study, I look at the sticker and I say, I will do it for them. To my pastor, I appreciate every great thing you have done for me and my family. You are like a father to me. You redirect me when my mind starts to go crazy and start thinking of the unthinkable. You told me to stay when I want to leave, yet I don't even know where I was going. You are my engine of hope and faith. You taught me to put everything in God and pray and not to forget to keep my beautiful smile on. I can't read the rest, so I'll read that later. Crap. Thank you for the lovely words. To my husband that I almost forgot to mention, thank you for pushing. Somebody read this. You can do it. I almost forgot to mention him. That's probably good you brought him in here. Thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone. Sometimes we get comfortable in life to the point that I can't.
To my husband, I'm teary, that I almost forgot to mention, thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone. Sometimes we get comfortable in life to the point that make us forget who we are and what we are capable of doing. I was able to discover who I am and what I want to be as a person. You made me able to think outside the box and learn to love myself, appreciate myself, and be happy even when the clouds turn gloomy. To my other instructors that I have not mentioned their names before, like I say, you are all what make me a successful student today. Thus, I sincerely thank you all for that. Our favorite memory from DCTC. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of beautiful memories during my time in DCTC. Wonderful, I love hearing that. I remember the potluck we did during the ATI review. Anything with food is one that I remember the best because you know I love food. Me too, girl. Anyway, I remember the time I spent with my other fellow students learning together and helping each other was the best of my time in DCTC. Up next, it is time to give the best to these children. So I'm just going to work and enhance them in their studies and sports that are very expensive to participate in. True story. All in all, the sky is going to be my limit. I may go back to school in the future when I adjust myself. Sometime we need to take time off. Reposition ourselves in life, which is much better than giving up. No one should ever give up in any good thing that they are trying to achieve. Well said.
Thank you. Our students are more to us than just students. Maybe you caught on to that, so we're very proud of each of them. And just with that, I just want to take one more opportunity to acknowledge all of your hard work and go forth. I know you're going to make us so proud. Congratulations. We love you. For cookies, coffee, milk, water, and pictures. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all for coming.